Hello, this is John from TC Math Academy. And in this particular video, I'm actually redoing this problem because the first time I did this problem, I actually made an error. And some of you out there called me out on it, and thank you very much. It's funny because the title is It's Easy to Make Errors. I Make Errors. Of course, the name of the game is try to reduce your errors. And when you're doing math, you have to be completely focused. And when you get slightly distracted or something happens, you can easily make an error, even if you know what you're doing. And that's what I did. I'll show you in a second the error that I made, and then we'll go through this problem step by step correctly. Also, if you need math help with a course you're taking, test prep or homeschooling, make sure to check out my math help program at tcmathacademy.com. You can find a link to that in the description below. And if this video is extra entertaining for those of you out there that maybe follow me, you're going to understand that, hey, yes, I am a real person, i.e. a human being, and I'm certainly capable of errors. But when it comes to teaching math, I try to be as transparent as possible and try to give you my best advice and guidance through decades of teaching math to reduce your errors. And again, when I did this problem originally, I had a lot going on, and I definitely got a little bit distracted. And I'll show you here in a second. Also, if this video helps you out in some small manner, make sure to like and subscribe, as that definitely helps me out. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what I did wrong. Now, again, I'm going to do this problem without the aid of a calculator, but if you want to use a calculator, that's perfectly fine. Okay, so here is what I said in the previous video. I actually took that video down because I just don't want to have two videos out there that would cause confusion, but I said that this was the right answer. Okay, I'm going to have to give myself a sad face, okay, because I got this wrong, right? That is not correct. The actual correct answer is this right here, this fraction, and of course this has a decimal equivalent if you decided you wanted just to go ahead and do this with a calculator. So I, definitely failed my own little math quiz. But listen, I want to post this correction to show you what can go wrong. Math is not unlike, say, driving a car where you're driving down the road, and if you're going, let's say, 60 miles an hour or whatever you're traveling at, if you take your eye off the road just for even 1 second, you can, swerve off and make an error. And in math, of course, errors, any little tiny little error will throw off your entire solution. So let me go ahead and show you the problem. So I kind of started off in the previous video and I said, okay, here's the problem. And I even said, think before you start. Wow, I should have taken my own advice, right? Well, again, and here in this particular problem, what I was trying to show you or highlight, if you will, is that here we have 2 minus 11 plus 1/3, and then this is negative 11 plus 3/9 plus 2. These are actually the same values here, okay? So in other words, 2 minus 11 plus 1/3 is the same thing as negative 11 plus 3/9, as we can reduce this fraction right here to 1/3 plus 2. And when you're adding numbers, order doesn't make a difference. So really, instead of having to do this two separate problems here, all we have to do is figure out what one of these values are within these parentheses, and then we can multiply it by itself. Now, what I did, the error that I made was not this, it was right here. Okay, so let me show you. So here's the problem. Okay, and I said, okay, we're going to take this, and we don't need to duplicate our efforts by calculating what's in both of these parentheses. We just need to figure out what's in one of these parentheses. But then I said, we're going to go ahead and just multiply by 2. This was wrong. What I was thinking in my head was we need to square this, and I made an error. Quite frankly, I got a little distracted. When I do a lot for those of you out there that do follow me, I do a lot of content. I try to be as accurate as possible. I oftentimes use other resources with correct answers, but sometimes I'll just make up a problem on a fly. But when I make an error, I wanted to kind of review it with you to show you how easy it is to make a math error, even with someone like myself with a degree, a master's degree. It doesn't make a difference. Yeah, and by the way, too, some of you may not know this. Even there's a lot of great math textbooks out there, even at the college level, high school level, that have errors in them. It's actually kind of common. And so what teachers do when they find them, they report them back to the publisher, etc. So I want to thank those of you out there that saw this as an error. And there was a particular person that actually reached out to our website and highlighted out that. And I definitely appreciate that because if I didn't get that notification, I wouldn't have known. So, anyways, thank you very much. So, this right here was wrong. Okay, this is incorrect. So, this is where I kind of earned my little sad face for today. What I should have said was, okay, we're going to take this value and multiply it by itself because we don't, again, this is going to be the same as this. So when you're multiplying, let's say 3 times 3, that's the same thing as 3 squared. We're squaring, not multiplying by 2. So anyways, so this is what we want to do right here. All right, so now let's go to pick up the problem on the right track. So what we need to do now is the order of operations. We need to work with inside these parentheses, and then we'll square it. And let's go ahead and do that math right now. Okay, so we have 2 minus 11 plus 1/3. So we got 2 minus 11 plus 1/3. Again, right here, we're just talking about basic math, but even the basic, most fundamental little things in math, you can't take your focus off. You just can't be like, oh, I know that 1, 2, 3, because you'll make an error just like I did previously. All right, so 2 minus 11, that is going to be -9. Remember, 2 minus 11 is the same thing as 2 plus -11. So now we have -9 plus 1/3. So right here, we can go ahead and figure this out. A couple different ways you could approach this. Again, we're not using a calculator, but the way I would approach this is -9 over 1. The LCD, the lowest common denominator, is 3. So we could just multiply this fraction, 9 over 1, by 3, and we'll end up with -27 over 3 plus 1/3. Now we have the same denominator. We can go ahead and add the numerator. And we have -27 plus a +1, so it's going to give us a -26 over 3. Okay, so now let's go ahead and go back to our problem at this stage. And we just did this math right here. And the answer is -26 over 3. And we're squaring it, meaning we're going to take that and multiply it by itself. So that's -26 over 3 times -26 over 3. And at this point, if you're like, you know what, I'm just going to use a calculator to do some of this math, that's perfectly fine. However, I'm pretty sure most of you out there could, have the ability to multiply 26 by 26. And when you do that, notice here we're multiplying a negative times a negative. So the answer is going to be positive. So 26 over 3 times 26 over 3 squared, or 26 over 3 times itself, is going to be a positive 676 over 9. Again, negative times negative is positive, so we could just think of these as positive values. So now we have 5 times 676 over 9. And of course, we can do this lovely math right here. Just take that 676 and multiply by 5. At this point, if you were like, yeah, I'm just going to use a calculator to do that, that's perfectly fine. And what you're going to get is 5 times 676 is going to be 3380. So we have 3380 over 9, and we want to see if we can reduce this. The easiest way to just check this to see if this is divisible by 3. This number is divisible by 3. Obviously, 9 is divisible by 3, so you can just look at the sum of the digits. So you have 3 plus 3 plus 8. So that is 6 plus 8, and of course we have 0 right here. So 6 plus 8, that'll be 14. And 14 is not divisible by 3. So basically, this fraction is about as reduced as we can get it. And of course, we can turn this into a decimal as well. If you wanted to take that extra step, if you had your calculator, just take that 3380 and divide it by 9. And you'll end up with this right here, this 375.5 repeating. Okay, so again, the thing that, obviously, it's not. What's the word I'm trying to say? If you look at like your math teachers or people who study math, people make errors, okay? There's no one out there that does, math 100% correct all the time. Matter of fact, if you're a human, you're going to make errors. I make errors. The name of the game is to try to reduce your errors, okay? And it's so, so easy to make a mistake, especially when you're doing a lot of mathematical calculations. So you got to really be in a kind of clear state of mind, high level of focus, and write things out step by step by step by step. And another thing I would point out for myself, and for those students out there or those of you out there that are strong in math, what we tend to do when you know something really, really well, you're like, oh, I could just go a little bit quicker. I mean, I need to kind of double check myself. You kind of you kind of get a little bit overconfident. I don't know if that's kind of what I'm trying to say, but if you're really good at something, sometimes you have to be you got to slow things down and you got to just say, yeah, where could I be possibly making an error? But anyways, I want to again thank, I believe the person's name was Ed, who reached out to our website. I'm pretty sure some other folks left some comments there. But anyways, I wanted to get this out today as I didn't want this to kind of linger out there. But with that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.